Alright, what is up, you heathens and demons, you beautiful, blasphemous people? Welcome back to A Raging Atheist. I'm your boy Nakasuchi, and I stayed up late prepping for this shit. So, I was like, how the hell am I gonna do 2 streams tomorrow if I don't stay up till 2 in the morning and prep for it? So I did. And, before we get into it, me and Ali will be having our Seeing Red show tonight. I haven't talked to Ali, but I'm willing to open up the room if anybody wants to come in and talk Christmas with us. But we are going to be holiday bashing. So I'm just going to let you guys know. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of Christmas. And if anybody would like to come in, as long as Ali's okay with it, then I'm okay with it. And we'll have a good stream tonight. But I'm running out of time. The first is nigh. I need to end this raging review before the first, hopefully. So, before the New Year's Eve stream even. So I'm going to be doing this shit every day. Today we are dealing with the modern day debacle and the after show, the theology of the sandwich. This was a very pivotal moment for my channel because it could have been the end of me, honestly. I fucked up the modern day debate with Matt Powell. I allowed Matt to manipulate me into believing a thing when that thing wasn't true. We talked about it a lot on this channel. I've talked about this debate a lot on this channel. This debate is where Matt tries to imply that I was crying. Everybody knows that I wasn't. I was laughing. All of that. So we are going to be dealing with that today. Now, last night I said I really wasn't going to try to show too much of the debate. I decided that we're going to deal with pretty much the first half of the debate. So we're gonna be watching a lot of the debate, and yeah, I'll show you where I went wrong, because I'm not afraid of that shit. And where it could have ended me, instead it brought my community to me. They gave me some constructive criticism. I have learned since then. I've become a lot better. I understand how to debate a little better. But it brought my community to me, and we had the theology of the sandwich, and that really solidified me with my community. Did your dad come over to worship science and technology with you? No, my dad's been pretty cool. He's a Christian. I kind of showed him some of the Matt Powell clips. And it's like, Dad, this is what I'm against. I'm not against, progressive Christians. And, my dad's a Southern Baptist. So I would say he's probably progressive compared to the people around him when it comes to this Christianity. But, it was a good visit. He's leaving on Saturday to go back to North Carolina. So, he stopped by to see my daughter right when I was about to stream. So I had to push it back again. And then he's going to come over later this evening to see her again, too. So, we're going to get into this. This is the modern day debacle.
Hey everybody, stoked to have you here. And Jim, I just realized I'm so sorry. I told you I was going to have you do that part, and out of habit I did it. So, want to let everybody know.
No worries, man.
Thanks for your patience. It's I get nervous. I'm excited because this is huge. So, first,
It's going to be a good one.
Absolutely. Can I say also thanks to Jim Majors for helping out with the channel this week. The channel almost went silent for a week because I got just completely swamped. And so, Jim, thank you so much for stepping in and moderating this week without me.
Of course, man. No problem. I really enjoyed it. We had a great couple of debates, and the live chat was great. So it was a good time. Anytime.
Jim did a superb job, and he is here tonight to help co-mod. We're co-modding together for this epic debate. The one that, believe it or not, despite the thumbnail, we think that this is going to be a good dialogue that isn't going to turn into a crazy dumpster fire. So, with that, we're going to jump right into it. First,
Alright, so James must not have understood the beef. He should have, because we were emailing all day for pretty much 24 hours trying to nail this debate down. So the way Matt approached me with this debate, he approached me like we were gonna settle our feud, and he had already went to modern day debate with a debate, but as soon as he approached me, I was down for it. As I've shown you guys in the last couple reviews, the death threats had really become an issue. It had really become an issue. The death threats against my daughter. I wanted them to stop. I was pretty desperate at this point for them to stop because it was getting out of control. And it was pretty much taking up a lot of my thought during those days. So I really wanted it to stop. I jumped on it. I reached out to James, but Matt had already reached out to James. So the next day, as I'm prepping, and I was doing some debate prep with Ocean, I noticed that the debate title, because the night before, James had tweeted about the debate, and he tweeted, "The feud will be settled." So I figured everything was on the same page. But then the next day I saw the title of the debate was "Does God Exist?" And I reached out and, in the email chain with me, Matt, and James, and it got settled. But, Matt was manipulative. And I allowed Matt to manipulate me once again. So, that was my bad. That was completely my bad. But, James doesn't think it's going to be a dumpster fire, but my very intention was to blow this fucker up. I was not going to have a legitimate debate with Matt Powell again. I had that. I had done that. I'd been there. I was there to stop the death threats. It's the only reason I was there. So, yeah. We're going to get into just how James really tried really, really hard to make it not a dumpster fire.
And then Raging Atheist and Matt Powell, who, by the way, I just learned something super interesting about these guys just today. Did you know, Matt Powell, is it true that you're like 6'5" or 6'4"?
I'm actually 6'3".
6'3".
Oh, so you are slightly shorter than I am then.
So these guys, I had no idea. Matt Powell's 6'3", which puts him, I'm pretty sure that's like 2 standard deviations above the mean, which basically means only 2% of people are taller than Matt. Actually, 2% of men, so probably like 1% or less of the entire human population. And then Raging Atheist even taller at, is it 6'5"?
I'm just under 6'5". Just
Wow.
under 6'5".
These are two...
It's all about the reach.
What's up, Neil? So yeah, James is trying to keep it lighthearted, and the structure of the debate was really weird. So we both, and I didn't know this going into the debate. James is notoriously bad for giving you the actual structure of the debate. Not talking shit, James. It's just kind of how it happens. So we had 2 10-minute openings, and then there was a 10-minute period to where we each got to ask each other questions. Kind of weird in a debate. And then it had open discussion or whatever. So I'm going to skip past Matt's opening statement because he spent 10 minutes addressing evolution and his evidence for the existence of God. Not our beef, not our feud, not the death threats, not the misrepresentations. And it threw me off because we had agreed that was going to be it. The worst mistake I made in this debate was not demanding that the title of the debate change. That was a huge mistake that I made. I should have demanded that the title was changed instead of a loose agreement with Matt that this would be what we were talking about. So, I was very naive and I didn't quite understand debate or any, I was very new to this. I was going on Modern Day Debate to grow the channel, to get more eyes on me. And I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Not a good idea usually. But it's usually how I learn. I just rush right in, head first. People call me the bulldog because I don't care. I will just do it and I will learn. And I think I've learned well. I've gotten pretty good at combating Christians. Just one sec, guys. She needed a hug. All right, so the next one is going to be my opening statement. And I make another huge mistake here. I make another big error in not understanding how shit is done. If I understood back then how to really screen share, it wouldn't have been as bad. I would have been able to control it. But I brought with me clips that proved that Matt Powell misrepresented me. It was I put him out in videos, basically putting his cut up next to mine and showing the differences, showing his dishonesty. But it didn't really play well with the audience, and I didn't have control over it. But you're going to see from my opening statement, I'm only going to do the first 5 minutes or so, that I wasn't there to talk about God's existence with Matt Powell. All right, so reading from the script. Does God exist? A worthy question asked by humans since we were capable of thinking such thoughts. Matt here didn't even address it. Does God exist? My immediate answer is no, but I cannot prove that. My opponent here will tell you yes, but he cannot prove that. I could grant the premise and there is a creator God and then make my opponent here prove that his God is that creator instead of all the others. Indeed, I have danced that dance before with my opponent. You will find all of the work I have done on my page in its own section called Dancing with the Devil. Does God exist? A question that has never been truly answered. Neither side of this question can prove their claims. It is a stalemate as soon as the question is asked. I have no interest in this question. I am not here to even entertain it. Not sure why though I might. Matt's jumping up and down. I am here because I have history with my opponent. We have bad blood. If Matt Powell wants me to believe a word that comes out of his mouth, he must answer some questions and he must answer some wrongs so maybe we can move on. Because if God exists, it would not choose Matt Powell to be his representative in this debate right now, at least I would hope. I mean, my opponent thinks gay people should be killed, which is ridiculous. I am simply here to get Matt to admit he was wrong and maybe find a way to end our feud, which is the debate that Matt himself approached me with. In your movies, Science Falsely So Called, you quote mined our conversation, blatantly misrepresented me and my beliefs in order to make me look inferior to you. I'm about to show you, Matt, how your ethics and integrity are the questions here tonight. And that's what I was there to discuss. And I was very foolish to think that Matt Powell would want to apologize and make things right, especially on modern day debate. I really don't understand what I was thinking outside of the fact that I was just so desperate to try to do something to change the narrative to where I wasn't receiving the death threats. Picking stuff up in my headphones. So that's the only reason why I could think that, why I would even think that. And I'm a raging atheist, but I'm essentially a secular humanist, and I have hope in everybody, and I've talked about that a lot. I have hope for Matt, and when I really think that Matt saw me make those statements, because I made them throughout the course of our interactions, and I think he really played upon that and utilized that to his gain here, because I do have hope that one day Matt Powell won't be the cupcake that he is, that he will be more humanist, that he will be more compassionate and have more empathy. I'm wishing for a lot. I'm wishing for a lot. So, this was a very, very major mistake because the title of the debate was, "Why Does God Exist?" So some people in the chat understood what I was doing, to where a lot of people didn't. A lot of people came for that "Does God Exist?" debate. So they just saw me perpetuating drama and personal bullshit instead of addressing Matt Powell and his arguments. And that was a huge mistake. I'm not going to fucking lie. But I was just that desperate, I think, to end those death threats, especially against my little girl. Death threats against me, I don't care about. But when you're threatening to kill my little girl, I got fucking desperate. So we are going to skip now to 29:58. And this is going to be, I believe, the part to where Matt gets to ask me questions. And as you can see, like, I'm upset. And the moderators, you know, Jim wasn't in on the email chains. So he didn't understand what was going on. So Jim's job was to try to keep us on track of the debate. So, you know, anybody that's going to say that Jim is a, you know, unfair moderator, just realize that in this debate, he really went at me to keep me on track because I kept going off track. So, you know, and it's with Matt Powell, somebody that Jim doesn't like. So he's able to be a fair moderator. And I don't think anybody's ever said that he's not, but, you know, he did a really good job.
Back to the dialogue box.
All right, so am I good?
Yes.
So in the second clip, I'm not sure how it got viewed, but in the movie clip, he cuts to us walking up the stairs. Matt is still talking. Ends with any of those qualities were tweaked at all. No life can exist. But then he edits in an answer. And my unedited version of the conversation, there is no answer. Matt keeps talking for quite a while. There's dishonesty, and it harm to my reputation in a community I didn't know about. The edit to me in this movie got the atheist community into an uproar. Aaron Ra, one of the people I look up to, called me an atheist my opponent found on the streets. Now Aaron Ra responded to me, and I think he knows the truth now, but I had to work to repair that damage, and I am still working to repair that damage. I met Cyrus because he was taking apart this movie, and now I have met my community because of it. So while my opponent wants to think himself legitimate to debate a question with me, I have to ask, why should I believe a single word that comes out of your mouth? So Matt Powell, does God exist? I don't care. I care about how you misrepresented me, how you misrepresent facts, how you use children to promote your hate mongering. That is what I care about. And if you have any interest in ending our feud, you will respond. And you must stop calling me or anyone else a reprobate as if you are capable of knowing the mind of any God. It is dangerous, it is reckless, and just another example of your disgusting hate speech. I am done. So, he doesn't bite. Matt is exceptionally good at being deceptive, exceptionally good at staying in the moment, you know, and he'll use those words. Like what I just said, those compliments that I just gave Matt, he'll use that as propaganda. Take it out of context. Because I'm literally saying he's a shit. But he'll use that as propaganda, and it's what he does. Matt Powell is a disgusting human being, but we're not going to bash on him too much because I'm bashing on myself here. I should have been smarter. I should have known better, and I should have been more prepared to deal with that debate when he wanted to have that debate alone. I made myself look bad. There's nobody to blame but myself because I was emotional. I had allowed those death threats to make me emotional, and I should have been better. So we're going to go to 3128, which is right here. Let's continue.
Gotcha. And we will go ahead, Jim.
All right. Well, with that being said, it was a great 10-minute opening from you as well. We're going to go into a...
Like, did you see Jim's face? Like, Jim is like, what the fuck did I get myself into here? Like, he is like, what the fuck am I doing? What's going on? Like, he's realizing.
A 10-minute cross-examination. 10 minutes from each of you, 10 minutes from Matt, asking questions of Raging Atheist, and then we're going to switch to Raging Atheist, who's going to ask 10 minutes worth of questions to Matt. If you guys have to respond a third time to the same question, that's okay. Let's just try not to get it too out of hand. And I will start with your first question, Matt.
Yeah, well, first off, I'd just like to state real quick that I was not able to hear any of that video that was playing.
You've seen it before.
Yeah. Well, I'm more than happy to go back and look at whatever video, and you don't know for sure that I've seen that video
You've
before.
responded on it several times. It's proof that Matt Powell lied in his movie. You've seen it.
Well, and you were there.
Feel free. Yeah. Well, viewer, feel free to go over to Raging Atheist's channel and check it out. I fully approve of all his material. In fact, if you guys want to go over and take a look at that, feel free. I'm not ashamed of any edits that were made. I think everything was done in honesty. And the only reason that the atheistic worldview may look silly and kooky and crazy to some people is because that's exactly what it is. And the reason that I say anything that I say is because of this book right here, the King James Bible, my final authority. And so I'm not going to bow to the will of man. And I'm not going to succumb to what man wants. The Bible says, cursed is the man that trusts in man. My trust is in God. My hope is in Christ. And when I talk to, this is kind of a surprising discussion. The topic, though, I think we should try to stay on topic. You know, we could probably end our feud, if that's how you want to call it, later. Let's talk about the topic at hand that all the viewers are here for. Does God exist? And I think that the mathematical equation.
See, right there, it's just so disingenuous because he knew that's why we were there. He knew that. See, Matt Powell played me. He played me like a fiddle, and I let him do it. This was his sole victory against me, and I have often said it. Now, all I had to do was let Matt Powell be Matt Powell, and he eventually did that, as I showed you guys in the Christmas Eve video, where he literally equates gay people to Hitler. You know, so I just had to let him do that, and then he denied my daughter's death threats and all of that shit. You guys saw that. We won't be covering that here because I just showed that. But let's continue.
Equations that we have point to God existing, and my question to you would be, do you think that it's rational and logical to believe that 10 to the 164th power, which is proteins being created by chance, happening trillions of times over, is a good possibility to happen by itself? Do you think that's rational and logical to believe that, and why?
Will you repeat the question?
Do you believe that it's rational and logical to believe that 10 to the 164th power happening simultaneously trillions of times over could happen by chance, or do you think it's more rational to believe it happened by design, and why?
I think I've answered that question before. This is not the first time you've asked me that exact question, Matt. I'm more interested in how you're trying to pretend like you weren't aware that this is what the debate was going to be about. So here's my text message. All right, so where am I at? Yeah, so I'm trying to show a text message that you're not going to be able to see on camera. Idiotic. And I'm not willing to have this debate with him. And this was another huge mistake. This is a mistake that Shannon Q would point out later in the after show, is because I had those answers. I had dealt with Matt repeatedly. I knew how to answer his questions. We had had these conversations twice in person and once or twice on my channel. So I knew the answers and how to answer him. I chose not to. And often we say, that sometimes we need to take a stand and not have these legitimate debates. I say this a lot with some people. And, in concept, that is a pure thing. That is a beautiful thing. Don't give them that ground. Don't give them that legitimacy. But in reality, it's ugly. And this is what it looks like. And a lot of people don't understand what you're doing when you're doing it. But I was not going to give him that legitimate debate. And it was a huge mistake. A huge mistake.
Let's be fair though. Let's be fair though. He asked a question it's pertaining to his God belief, and this is his 10 minutes. If you want to respond to that in yours, that's fine.
My response will be the same as before. It's the same as before, Matt. It's the same as before. It's the same exact response that you asked me this probably both times I've talked to you face to face. It hasn't changed. I am interested in, you asked for this debate to end the feud. You asked for it. I have the text right here. Tell you what, if you want to settle this once for all, I'll do a debate with you, modern day debate, your words right here on this text message, Matt. So don't pretend like you don't know this was what it was going to be about. I've sent several emails to James and to yourself. Do not sit here and be disingenuous with me. If you want to ask me questions and want me to answer you, address the topic.
The topic is, does God exist? That's
the topic is, how can I trust a word out of your mouth, Matt?
Well, that wasn't the agreed upon topic, though. The topic of the debate is, does God exist? I mean,
You see, Jim is being very fair, and Jim wasn't in those email strings. In the after show, he would say, had he been in those email strings and understood what was going on behind the scenes all day that day, that he would have allowed that conversation. But James didn't know, and he was just doing what a moderator is supposed to do: keep it on topic. So yeah, mad respect for Jim here.
you feel free to address that if you want in your closing statement or during the cross examination. But during the questions, I think they need to pertain to the topic.
All right, that's fine with me, Matt. You can same answer as before. Move on to the next question.
Okay, next question. You got 6 minutes, Matt.
Sure. So do you believe that it's rational and logical to believe that a unconscious dead material became living and conscious material through spontaneous generation, or do you think it's more logical to believe it was designed, and
This
why?
is your pond scum to human evolution bid. We've discussed it thoroughly. Same answer. Move on.
Okay, no problem. Ernst Haeckel said, and I quote, he said, "Spontaneous generation must be true, not because it had been proven in the laboratory,
Man, I
but
thought you
because
was
otherwise
swinging.
Yep. But because
All right,
otherwise,
go ahead.
but because otherwise, let me restart that question so you can get a clear understanding of the question I'm asking you. So Ernst Haeckel said, and I quote, he said, "Spontaneous generation or life coming from non-living material must be true, not because it had been proven in the laboratory, but because otherwise it would be necessary to believe in a creator." Do you agree with what Ernst Haeckel said? Yes or no, and why?
Same Ernst Haeckel that you claims to be a father of evolution.
I believe he was the co-founder, yes.
You believe wrong. Same Ernst Haeckel you claim to have been, I think, found guilty of fraud.
He was convicted of fraud by his own university, yes.
Wrong. Same Ernst Haeckel that you quote mine nonstop. Same answer, Matt. Move on.
Okay. Do you have an answer that you want to give the viewers, maybe, or do you just want to move on? That's fine if you don't.
I'm not interested in answering these disingenuous questions that you always come with. It's the same stuff. You told me you was going to come swinging. This is the same stuff spit back again. I thought this was going to be an interesting debate. You approached me with a new interesting debate, not the same thing we've always done.
All right, so huge mistake. Most of the audience that was in that chat, and there was a lot of people in that live chat. It's now been watched over almost 7,500 times. They didn't understand the debate, the beef. They didn't understand all the behind the scenes. Now, some of my people were there. Some of the people that are in the live chat right now were there that night, and they were defending me. Steve McRae saw it and was defending me. Digital Hammurabi was defending me. But a lot of people just didn't understand. You know, they didn't see the stream where I talked about the death threats and how just frantic I was about this shit. You know, they couldn't understand that because I didn't really explain that because Matt never allowed that debate to really happen. I never got that closure. Still to this day. Now, the death threats have stopped, but I never got that closure. Thankfully, they have stopped. Thankfully, I've been able to move on and really refocus and get back on track with what I'm doing here on the channel, because that shit had me fucked up. I'm not gonna lie, it had me fucked up. So we're gonna skip to 4214. Let's get there real quick. Close enough. This is my time where I get to ask Matt some questions. And I'm like, fuck the debate. Now Jim's going to shut it down. And James doesn't interject. And this is the one issue, and me and James have talked about it. We've resolved it. James is a good guy. He is a moderator, and he wasn't trying to get involved. But this was the one issue I felt like James could have came in and said, you know, because he was involved in those emails, could have kind of clarified to the audience what was going on. James didn't. The one issue that might have made things a little better, but me and James have talked about that. There's no bad blood or beef. There never was. But I do feel like he could have interjected and let the audience know what had been transpiring all day long leading up to the debate.
Okay,
And
thank you.
that is time. Thank you so much, Matt, and thank you, Raging Atheist, for answering those questions. We're going to turn it over to you, Raging Atheist, to ask your 10 minutes worth of questions. And Matt, if you'd answer him, I'd appreciate it. And let's try to keep this on topic, and let's try to address the questions.
All right. So, Matt, why did you approach me yesterday morning about a debate to end our feud? And then this morning I found out that the debate title was Does God Exist? And I got all up in the emails with James here and with you. I even emailed you or texted you personally and was like, what's up with this? And you called me and we talked, and I'm like, dude, I'm totally going to attack you with the stuff I'm going to attack you. But the things that I want to talk about is our feud. The things that you approached me in the damn text message, Matt, was about the feud. So for you to sit here and act surprised, it's just another example. And the audience ain't going to see this text message with the camera right there, but they're going to see it in my next video. You asked for this debate, not.
Again, my integrity gets in my way sometimes. I had permission from James to publish those text messages. I never did. I really don't like showing private correspondence. I think I've done it once with Matt because it was required, but I really don't like doing that. I never did it. Maybe I should have. I still have them. I still could, but my integrity gets in my way sometimes. I have a code. I have honor. Matt doesn't.
Does God exist? But fine. You want to talk about what does God exist instead? You want to be a coward, Matt. Instead of address the issue you approached me with, the issue I reached out to James about, the issue that I have been very vocal about all day in the emails, all day on Twitter. Now. This isn't anything new to you. Nothing for you to act like it's new. So please answer it before I ask you some God exists questions. You're surprised.
Well, I'm not surprised. You are the raging atheist.
But you're acting like it's the debate is about something and that you're surprised that I'm coming at you with this stuff. Why are you acting surprised when you approached me with this debate? Not does God exist?
Well, it's not.
You are going to be an honest representative of your God, man. Be an honest representative of your God. Be honest for once in your life, dude.
Well, with all the videos, the reason that I asked you, Ronnie, is because number one, and Dave can test.
Notice he uses my real name. That's been an issue time and time again with Matt, and he does it to frustrate me, and it works every time. Even though it's out now, like it was out before Matt, because I used to use that name before I started using Nakasuchi on my old channel. But he does it because he knows it bothers me, and he knows about the death threats, and it's basically what he is doing there is threatening me. Hey, I know where you're from. I know your name, and he does. He knows my real name. He knows the area of Battle Creek I live in because when I delivered the strike to him, he got that information. So he's threatening me in a time where I'm very frantic about threats to my child with, hey, I have your information. That's what he's doing. Every time he uses my real name, that's what he's doing.
Testify to this. Dave reached out to me about a month ago and asked me to do a debate on modern day debate. And he even said you could do it with Raging Atheist, Arn, whoever you want. Just get them and come on the show.
And you reached out to me yesterday morning about a debate to end our feud. Did you not?
I didn't use the wording "end our feud."
Yeah, that's the exact wording, Matt. It was the exact wording. Tell you what, if you want to settle this once and for all, I'll do another debate with you. Modern day debate, your choice. I know you had wanted me to come on your channel. Let's have a moderated discussion. What do you say? That was the debate. Tell you what, if you want to settle this once and for all.
Yeah, and it just happened to be on whether God existed or not.
That wasn't what you said.
Videos.
That wasn't what you said.
Hey, I'm going to go ahead and step in. If you guys want to debate whatever personal issues you have later, that's fine. But for now, the topic is does God exist?
All right, so Jim comes in and does what he should do as a moderator. He shuts that down. He tries to get us back on topic. and I'm gonna let him because I did prepare a little bit with Ocean, and Ocean had just put out a new video, a new argument that I just loved. Um, I don't do the argument justice. I wasn't as familiar with it as I should have been because I've been behind the scenes instead of doing as much prep as I should have been doing. I was dealing with Matt in the emails, trying to get the debate to be what it was supposed to be. Yeah, big mistake. This will be the last bit of the debate we watch, and we'll be going to the after show. But yeah, I have to thank Ocean Keltoy for this.
O2, does God exist? I have permission from a friend to use this argument, Matt. You have actually presented no proof of God's existence. Let's say God exists, so that means that you would believe in hell, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, and I have permission from a friend, Ocean. This is a brilliant argument he just came out with, and I promised myself I was going to use this argument if you insisted we stay upon the God thing. So I want you to grant me some things. Is determinism true?
Go ahead and define determinism for me.
Totally threw me off. Like, he knows what determinism is. Threw me off. He didn't answer that.
We'll just take it as a premise.
I'm clearly
I
still
just wish
fucking
you'd be honest for
frustrated.
once in your damn life. I really do. So we're going to take it as a premise. Determinism is true. God is omniscient, right?
Absolutely.
God knows the future, the exact future. I mean, thank you, Ocean, for this argument.
He absolutely does. Sure.
All right. I mean,
He's the end from the beginning.
I'm glad you're agreeing. Coming from somebody that believes that a pterodactyl was killed in the Civil War is insane. But you're agreeing on this. God is.
That was quote mine, by the way. But go ahead, keep going.
I've seen the picture. You showed me the picture. All events in the universe have a cause, right? This is sourced from the Kalam cosmological argument.
Sure.
Most Christians agree with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
God is the first cause because he's the creator, right?
Sure, absolutely. He's the uncaused cause, but sure.
God caused all actions in the universe?
Not all actions.
Well, you don't believe that God caused all actions? What actions did he not cause?
Well, the Bible says in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. So the Bible says that God set the earth and set the heavens in motion. And so God set everything up, and he let mankind have their free will. And so that's why we have free will. That's why we can make decisions.
So you think that we can surprise God?
Well, nothing is surprising to God.
How would you have free will if your actions wouldn't be surprising to God?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good question. So say, for example, this is just a parallel to help understand that question, especially for the viewer, because this is important to note. Let's say, for example, I was in the military. Me and Ronnie here, let's say we enlisted, we're together.
The Raging Atheist or Nakasuchi, please. I appreciate you doing what you always do.
Well, no problem. I understand you have your fantasy name.
It is my Native American name, Matt. You know this. We've been over this a million times. It's my Native American name. You're insisting on using my real name, which you know that I don't like. We've been over this many times.
Well, I'm just trying to be as respectful as possible. Is Raging Atheist okay?
Raging, Nakasuchi, whatever you want. Just not my real name, please.
Okay, no problem. So let's say, for example, guys, that me and Raging Atheist here, we enlist in the military.
Matt is such a douchebag. He's such a douchebag. You guys that have been here for a while have seen me tell him that so many times, either in live chats or on the channel. He did it when he came on to Cyrus's channel when we were reviewing his movie. He's just such a douchebag.
And there's a drill sergeant, right? And let's say this drill sergeant knows what we are going to wear the next day, right? So he, it's like Wednesday, and so there's a Wednesday.
You're filibustering my time.
Yeah, but you asked the question, so I got to answer the question. That's a deep question.
All right, so you believe in free will, but you don't think we can surprise God. Let's move on. So is God a just God?
Yeah, absolutely.
So God, who is just, only sends those responsible for sin to hell, right?
Absolutely.
So the conclusion of what you have just agreed to is that God should go to hell and is the only one that should go to hell.
Yeah, what you said just doesn't make any sense.
Oh, thank you so much, Ocean. You know, I didn't give him his argument enough credit. Like, had Ocean been in that debate and posed that argument, it would have been just so much better. But that look on Matt's face, oh, that was great. That was great. That's my one real good victory here, was that moment. And I had some more because, as I said, I only had to let Matt be Matt. He would talk his shit against gay people. He would compare him to Hitler. He would deny the death threats against my little girl. Matt would be Matt. And that was that debate. The tragedy, really. Could have been so much more. Could have been better. And I put it all on myself. And afterwards, I had an after show. And you're going to see, like, at first, like, I was still, because at the end, Matt had done what Matt does. And you know, to where I lost the debate, I can't really say that Matt Powell won that debate, because you shouldn't, if you compare gay people to Hitler, you just automatically lose a debate. You know, so I'm going to call it a tie, really, because, you know, my performance was bad, but Matt Powell is bad. He's essentially just a bad person, and can't win these debates just because he's a bad person. If he's going to say that shit. If he wouldn't say that shit and just stuck to his fucked up alternative facts, that's a different story. But because he compared gay people to Hitler, well, I don't think you can win a debate in that scenario. So, but yeah, this after show is going to be like when the community really comes to me, and they're going to give me constructive criticisms about how to debate, about how to be better. And Dragnot and Sokka, Sokka will be in this in the Theology of the Sandwich. Dragnot was not in this stream, but they have helped me be better at debate. Just seeing how they go about things and how they argue with theists, with Christians. I have improved dramatically, I believe. But we're going to get into the fun part. Theology of the Sandwich is great, but first we're going to listen to the criticisms. And you're going to see that I was still on that high from the end, to where, you know, I was feeling pretty good, even though I knew that there was some bad parts. I just didn't realize how bad it was and how it had been received by a lot of different people.
Honestly,
I could eat a Taco Bell taco walking.
I think we're missing the important question here.
That's the wrong one. Never mind. That's Theology of the Sandwich. I need to get over. Where is the other one at? I don't have the other one open, so we're going to go there real quick. So I thought I was completely prepared. I'm never completely prepared. I should know better by now. And of course I did the wrong one, but that's okay. So we'll get rid of that. We'll go to dialogues. We'll go down to the after party. Fun. Think you're set up, but you're not. So many dialogues this year. So many. So much still to cover. I don't know if I'll get it done before New Year's. Where are we at? We're up here. All right. So we're going to go right to the very beginning. What is up, guys? I sent Jim the link, so Jim Majors is going to be here. We are going to talk about what the fuck just happened on Modern Day Debate. Let me get out of here. Not really ready, rushing through this shit. Try to calm down. Try to calm myself down. Where is my headphones at? Let's get ready. Let's get ready to talk to you guys. All right, trying to calm down. Holy shit. Wow. All right. So, if you guys did not see what just happened, holy shit. All right. What's up, Derek? I've had Discord going off in my ear all morning. What's up, Jim?
So, dude,
Wow, just calm myself down.
Man, I had to go add more rum to my Coke.
Yeah, I wish I would have drank tonight. Holy shit, I needed it. But I'm drinking a Southern tradition of sweet tea.
I'm pretty sure I was doing everything but debating.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I'm still trying to process it. I know there was some parts there where I was really frustrated, and I think he was starting to look a little good. I know, sir.
All right, so I put forward that the plethora of great guest stream, the 8-hour stream that G-Man and Brett Keen and all of those people came on, was up for like maybe my stream of the year, the best stream I ever did. This would probably be the other one that would be potentially the best stream of the year. And it would start rocky. $5. What Pokemon game did you get your kid? Buying my way into the server with these donations. Check my channel tonight for a video to you. $5 from Will Kincaid, buying his way into my Discord server again. That's going to be a tough one because I booted you, Will, and I made that decision, and I told everybody I would never let you back in. So I'm going to talk to Allie. I think that maybe, I'm a forgiving cat. So we'll see. You can't come in and try to disrupt my Discord server. Can't come in and try to sabotage shit, Will. That's why I booted your ass. But yeah, I'm going to talk to Allie about it today. So, but I didn't get my girl a Pokemon game. I don't know where you got that from. I'm not sure if I said that. If I said that, I would have been joking. Cause I don't understand why I would be joking. No, my little girl got a whole lot of clothes. She got one of those little hoverboard things that I'm afraid she's gonna break her neck now. She got a new tablet. She got a bunch of stuff. She didn't get a Pokemon game. But let's continue.
Man, Raging Atheist can do better at one point. Now I just can't even really remember the point because I was fucking frustrated.
Yeah.
It took him a while to bite, but when he bit,
I feel like he used the personal thing to his advantage. That whenever you would start talking about theology, he would kind of bait you a little bit, and then I just saw it, man, just like crystal clear. He'd just suck you right back in. I was like, no,
yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah. He was able to get me off track, and I got more emotional than I had thought I would all day, because I definitely didn't expect to bring up my daughter. Or none of that.
Sorry, guys. My daughter doesn't. For some reason, she's always been good about not bothering me while I'm streaming and staying separate, doing her thing. And here recently, she just that's kind of went out the window.
Threat shit. So he got to me, and then when he denied,
I think I do remember that. Yeah, I never ended up.
For sure, and he tactically held back a lot of the slurs. Like he wasn't so volatile, like he usually is when talking like that.
Yeah. It took him a long time to get there, and I was afraid it would happen a lot sooner. And then he really held back because usually he doesn't have no qualms with saying that word, and it sounded like when he did say the word, I think he said it 3 times total. That he was tentative in saying it. So
yeah, I've only seen a couple of videos of his, but it might not be all of his videos, but the 2 that I've seen had quite a bit of offensive remarks in it, and I was like, well, I mean, just from 2 videos and the debate, I can't really assume anything, but just watching 2 videos before the debate, I assumed the debate would be a lot worse.
All right, so this is after a loss, but I don't quite realize that I lost. To me, I went in wanting to have the debate that I had with Matt Powell. I was somewhat aware of some of the comments in the live chat going on, but I'm notoriously bad for not paying attention to live chat when I'm doing this right now or when I'm in a debate. But I did see some of it. I saw one of the comments Cyrus made, like, oh, RA, you could do so much better than this. But I didn't let it get through me because I was hyper-focused on the debate I wanted to have. Be damned with the title, be damned with Matt Powell. So to me, in my mind, right after this, I did what I went there to do. A lot of people don't agree with that, and rightfully so. And I went there very naive. I went there. I'm not a debater. I'm a conversationalist. So if you're gonna debate, you need to understand debate, and I didn't. And people are gonna start coming in, and they're gonna start criticizing me. And anybody that says I can't take criticisms, you're wrong. I can if it's constructive, and if I need to be criticized. Now, if I feel like I'm right, well, that's a different story. Because if I can't see where I went wrong, and I feel in my conviction that I am right, I will never back down to you, no matter who the fuck you are. And that's something that you should understand about me. But if it is constructive criticism and you're right, well, I'm the type of person that listens. So we're gonna skip, or I think we're just gonna keep. Yeah, we're just gonna keep going right here. Yeah, and I it was so surprising because I was so honest with him, and me and you were talking all day, and I was talking with James all day, and I was talking with Matt all day long about this debate and what it was going to be about and what I was going to do. I was very open about it, and just for him to sit there and just at least pretend that, oh, what do you mean? This isn't what this was going to be about. And I'm like, dude, you literally.
Was James aware of the agreement that you guys made over the phone?
That's Jim Majors, Lisa for Truth.
Well, yeah, because I put all of that in the email chain.
It was all in the email?
Yeah, it's all in the email between me, James, and Matt.
Okay, yeah. See, now if I'd have known that, then I would have jumped in as soon as he started obfuscating and acting like he didn't know what the fuck was going on. I would have been like, no. Like, you need to turn this back around. Like, this is how it's going. Actually, he sent me the link in that email, so I should be able to see him.
Yeah, I'm looking at him like I'm gonna look at the last one because he reached out to Matt like right before we went and said, "Hey, Matt, are you cool with what the Raging Atheist is saying?" Let's see, man, there's so many. All right, there it is. Let's say, and this was at 4:21 p.m. So all day long, I'm saying, hey, this is not the debate. Let's talk about this, Matt. Let's talk about this, and then modern day debate. James says, "Hey guys, Matt, are you cool with the idea above from Rage on your guys' feud rather than a debate on theism?" And he didn't answer, but all day I'm posting in it, and he did call me like like, dude, man, you.
Oh, so I think that was a tactic. I think that was tactical. I think he may have not addressed that. Because
hopefully Jim, we'll be getting Jim back on the channel soon. I would love to get Jim back on the channel.
Let's be honest. He did use it. He did use it to his advantage, very much so.
And the fact that I couldn't see, I've never actually going into a debate used anything like pre.
Hey, what's up, Daily Atheist? We were just talking about you last night. Glad you're back. Want to get you back on the channel too.
Made. I don't know much about screen sharing. I had seen James do it before, so I had assumed I would see it, that Matt would see it, right? So when he didn't see that video clip and I couldn't see it to say, no, hey, stop it right at this moment, like I had planned out in my opening.
All right, so, the confusion of the debate, at that point, I was really starting to understand a little bit that criticism was coming. And people were showing up into the live chat, and I was starting to get that understanding. And it clicked home immediately that this was a moment that I needed to learn and not rage, and this was a moment that I needed to listen instead of talk so much. Now, people, I think Cyrus took a lot of heat in the chat for some of the stuff that went down there, and he shouldn't have, because Cyrus was giving me very legitimate advice, criticisms, and me and Cyrus are friends, and if your friends can't be honest with you, then who can? So, it got heated, and then it would become the theology of the sandwich, and we're gonna have a lot of fun with that. If y'all weren't here for that, let me get that right. If y'all weren't here for that, that was fun, and I would love for something like that to just happen again, because it happened just so organically in the stream, because after the criticisms, we were cool, and we were just having fun, and it really, it solidified my position in the community instead of harm it, like it could have, like it honestly could have. We're gonna skip forward now to 12:09, and this is gonna be where Jim sends Shannon Q and Cirrus a link. So let's get there. Yeah, this is gonna be a long stream. We've been going for about an hour. Probably got another hour's worth of shit to talk about from this one evening. So I said that'll be close enough.
Gonna respond. That's what a conversation is. And then he proceeds to interrupt me every single chance he gets.
Yeah. I just sent Shannon and Sirs a link.
Yeah, I did too. I was a little behind on it. I had to go on Twitter, and yeah, I'm really bad at chat. And man, these. Wow, dude, I expected something different. I expected that Matt was going to want to talk, and there was no way we were going to end our feud, like I said, until he stops speaking that hateful shit.
Right.
But at least maybe we could end the rhetoric between the two of us that has led. He claims he's gotten threats by somebody with my.
So, you know, that's what I wanted. And I didn't get that. Matt is not a good human. Matt's not going to be genuine with you. And I would highly, you know, warn anybody that's going to deal with Matt, especially now that he's directly linked to the NIFB. So his, you know, his rhetoric is going to be up a notch because he's solidified his position there. He's solidified his position with Steven Anderson. So if you're going to deal with Matt, be very cautious. And understand that nothing he tells you is true. Nothing. Every action that he is taking is an action that is the result of an agenda. And I didn't realize that at first because, you know, I'm a human being and I'm just used to dealing with human beings. And this was really my first encounter with the hate preacher. And that's what Matt Powell is. He's a hate preacher. And, you know, we had those one-on-one face-to-faces where I did what I did with debate. I just rush in, and I am that wall. But if you're going to deal with Matt, you need to understand the level of inhumanity that you're going to be dealing with. And you got to have some tough skin. Because the guy is, well, he's fucking Matt Powell. All right, so we're going to skip to 13:15, not going too far ahead. Oh, timestamps kind of suck trying to find them, but what are you going to do?
Because it was kind of phenomenal.
I tried, man. I mean, I tried hard.
Yeah.
I do have a question.
Yes.
This is just, and also, hi, Nakazuchi. I do have a question. So,
What's up, Chris?
how's it going, Jim? So my first question would be, I understand that what the debate would have been about and what James ultimately titled it were a little screwy. Can you fill me in on how that worked real quick?
All right, so yes, yesterday the whole story. Yesterday morning, I think it was Friday morning when I got home from work. So yeah, that would have been my Friday. Man, third shift is so confusing. It was yesterday morning. I get home and it's like as soon as I sit down here at my little area, I get messages from Matt Powell, and he's wanting to debate me and he's wanting to end our feud. So I am like, yes, I will reach out to James. And he specifically mentioned modern day debate. I was like, I'll reach out to James. You know, I've been on there a couple of times. I helped him out once. Me and James have had a good relationship. I'll reach out to James. We'll have a debate. We'll end our feud. And so I did. And as I'm reaching out to James, I'm already realized that James had already messaged me, had already emailed me about it. So like Matt had already been in contact with James about it. So I'm like, yeah, you know, Matt is contacting me. He wants to end our feud and he wants to do it on modern day debate. He wants a moderator. That's one of the things he specifically told me in the text messages is I want a moderator when we do this. I'm like, fine, dude, we won't do it on my channel. We'll go to modern day debate just like you want. We'll have a moderator. We'll end our feud. So this morning when I wake up, I start preparing for the feud, and you know, I'm putting my little clips together from my video, proof that Matt Powell lied on me in his movie, and I'm going into it. All right, maybe Matt's willing to finally admit that he did me wrong. look, I'm sorry, let's move on. And yeah, I'll stop making a ton of videos on you, which I did anyway. So about 2 hours after the prep I'm doing, I look at my emails again, and they're talking about a debate about the existence of God. And I immediately, like, me and Jen were just talking about it. I immediately said, wait a minute, this is not the debate I agreed to. This is not what I signed up for. I've been preparing for 2 hours for this debate, and now I'm finding out that it's this debate. And I think that Matt did it on purpose. Hey, what's up, Shannon Q? Didn't think I'd be meeting you under these circumstances.
Hi, how you doing?
What's
I watched
up?
that whole debate. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
So I understand that there's issues with that, because obviously if you're getting a bait and switch on you, like debate topic wise, that's problematic. However, once you got into the conversation and the title of the debate was as such, my question would be, and you know that I have no personal problem with you, because if I did, you'd never be on my channel.
Yeah, we're friends. Speak your mind, please.
Yes. Okay. So my question is, once the debate topic was set there, whether you agree to it or not, the two options that you should have done, personally, A, said, I'm not going to debate the topic I didn't agree to, or B, debate the topic, like once you're there and you've agreed that, okay, I'll go ahead and debate when I'm here.
Yeah, and I'm getting to that part.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, Cyrus is spot on, dead right, and that's my criticism of myself. It was the major mistake with that debate, is not insisting that the title represent the debate that I was prepared to have. Or I should have, as Cyrus suggested, got my mind to the place to where I could have had that does God exist debate with Matt. Because not doing that lost me the audience. And you lose the audience, you lose the debate.
So get to that part real quick, because that might change what I'm saying.
All right. So I got into the emails, and I have them all listed here. Maybe I don't even know. I think I'm done with Matt Powell, just like I said I was. But so I'm getting into these emails. I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't agree to this debate. I sent Matt a text message as soon as, right after I got into the emails, and was like, dude, this is not the debate we talked about. I'll read it to you real quick. And he calls me. He calls me with a compromise, and I agree to the compromise. So let's get down to there. So at 11:50 a.m. today, I sent him a text message, and I say, so what is up with this debate? A debate about whether a God exists is one I'm willing to have, but not what we talked of. You wanted to end the feud. And then he calls me back about 2 minutes later, and on the phone, we come to the conclusion that we'll start the debate about whatever they wanted us to start it. And it could be about, does God exist? And I'm like, fine, you can talk about if God exists, but I'm going to talk about the wrongs you have done me, and the threats that I wasn't planning on speaking of the threats, but the wording that has led to the threats that I have received, and that how this feud needs to end for the safety of us both, because he claims to get threats as well. And that's the conversation I agreed to have. So, and I did try to prepare, and Ocean, who's here now, really helped me get ready for another kind of debate. And I was
okay. So he was basically last second helping you get your stuff together for that.
Yeah.
There's a few mistakes that were made once you got into.
Oh
the
yeah,
debate.
yeah. There was.
Okay. The first one obviously is, I understand that you wanted to settle your beat with Matt, and that's fine. But when you have a titled debate, you have to stick to the topic of the title debate. Otherwise, you basically grant your interlocutor's position,
Right?
Which happened a lot. The other thing is, there's a set of debate tactics for dealing with an honest interlocutor, and there's a set of debate tactics when dealing with a dishonest interlocutor. An honest interlocutor, you could have done what you did, and they would have probably understood why you were doing it, and then you guys could have hashed things out, and then probably gotten to a more focused section of the debate. That could have happened. However, you and I both know that you were talking to Matt,
Yeah.
who is a dishonest interlocutor. The debate tactic for a dishonest interlocutor, the way that you handle that type of person, is not what you did. What you do with a dishonest interlocutor is you hold their feet to the fire when they say something wrong, of which Matt said many, when they say something that does not pertain to the debate, which was what you did.
That sounds really familiar. It's almost like I told you that right before the debate.
Yeah.
I would say that's a sick burn, but I'm talking about holding Matt to the fire right now, not Matt.
All right. Yeah, so, I'm taking criticism, and I'm taking criticism from people that I am becoming really friendly with. Me and Sirs have a good relationship. Me and Sirs have always had a pretty good relationship. And, if your friends are coming and saying, hey, this is what you did wrong, and if they're smart like Sirs is, you fucking listen to them, and I'm able to do that. I'm able to swallow my pride in those situations. Maybe some people can't, but I am able to do so. And I think, and I've often joked since I've started making some of the friends that I've made, that I like to surround myself with people that are smarter than myself. That is not a joke. It's a reality, because you make yourself smarter by doing so, by elevating your conversation, by elevating what you think about, because of the people that are thinking on a higher level. So it has really improved me from the just response after response after response atheist that I was for the first year. So I'm deeply grateful that they took time out of their schedules to come to my channel and to tell me where I went wrong, because that's the only way you're going to learn. It's the only way you're going to learn. We're going to skip forward now to 2241. And we're going to get to the fun part soon, guys. It's going to get fun. You don't have Ocean on and not have some fun, especially if you're talking sandwiches. So you don't want to miss that part. 2241. Oh, that should be close enough.
I'll let Shannon talk. She's got some stuff she wants to say. As I was explaining to Jim, like not seeing my opening presentation as I wanted to see it, and definitely Matt not seeing it, really affected. Like it threw me off from the very beginning. And I agree with everything you're saying, because I was, and the thing about thermodynamics is, like I was explaining, like, dude, I was just so surprised that it was just the same shit. Like I thoroughly thought it was going to be new.
Fair. But here's the other thing, and I have my suspicions. I'll
point out real quickly.
In just 1 second, Ocean. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, Shannon does want to speak too, so we'll let her speak.
I'm patient. I can wait. Go ahead.
Right.
And these words are coming from a place of love, because I like you.
Dude, sir, I appreciate. I mean, you, as I was telling Ocean earlier, I surround myself with smart people because I will learn, and you are one of those.
if you think that I'm smart,
credit. God damn it.
If you think that I'm smart, that's your mistake. I'm not. I don't have a degree to my name, for one. But anyway,
it gets worse, Shannon. He said that about me too.
Oh my god.
Oh dearie. Okay, so I have my suspicion on how this functioned, but I want to see if I'm correct. During the debate, when Matt was speaking, did you have Notepad up on your computer, and did you write down the things he was saying as he spoke them?
Yes. Okay. I did.
Yeah, I told him to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, there's a reason that there's two ways this conversation would have went. Either one, if you hadn't have done that, I would have gotten onto you for not taking notes on your opponent. But two, we have a situation here where you did take notes on your opponent and then didn't respond to him.
Yeah, I didn't use a single one of them. I didn't use a single one of
writing them. Either one of those is a faux pas. Like, I'm happy that you did make notes. At least there's that. I'm glad you did that. That is a good habit to get in a debate.
I've
got to reference those notes.
I've actually saved all of my notes from every conversation I've ever had with Matt Powell. I'd probably write a book out of them.
Is you ran down a rabbit hole and you dropped your notes and followed them.
Yeah. Oh man.
The trick is,
I think at some point
you have your notes. You have to reference your notes.
Yeah, I at some point I tossed him. Like he got to me. But yes,
a piece of advice that I was like, what I was trying to push you in the direction of in the prep earlier. I guess I'll say it more clearly now, because if you're talking about how you thought it was something new, what's going on? Jim.
No, I'm just saying that you're going to say it clearly now, like as opposed to earlier.
Well, as opposed to earlier, I didn't realize he thought that it was going to be something new. People, especially people like Matt Powell, never do anything new. They always do the same shit. Matt Powell is the kind of person. He's a Hovenite. He has a script. He's going to go on that
it's
script.
Hoven and Anderson all the way.
That script is readily available for you to go and take notes on. You know exactly where they're going to go. You know exactly where they're going to go for previous conversations with him. You know exactly where he's going to go from his own videos. So what, the way of taking notes beforehand, what I was telling you about how I usually have notes. What I usually do if I'm going up against an opponent that I know has a track record like this, I look at their previous stuff. I look up responses to those arguments. I try to put my own spin on it. Because I'm coming at it from a polytheist. That's usually not what other debaters are doing. And I'll have notes on what subjects I think are going to come up and what the basic responses to those things are going to be, so that whenever they do something that I know that they're going to fucking do, I only have to glance to the left a little bit and then I'm on them.
Mm-hmm.
And
I know him so well at this point.
But if you know,
you didn't utilize that. That's the
yeah,
problem.
this is a guy that you know the battlefield so fucking well with, and you were complaining that he wasn't doing anything new. Well, you should have done, in addition, you can complain that he's not doing anything new. That can work, but also say, here's the response to that. And I think that one of the things that you screwed up with, one of the things that you screwed up on was when he said, when he would ask you questions and you said, we've already had that conversation. You should have just repeated your answer and just been here's what it is. We've already been through this, but here's what it is. Here's why you're stupid, and go forward. Maybe not here's why you're stupid, but here's the explanation that I've already given you. And you should know this. You should have learned last time.
Oh yeah. And
that's instead of
went into it,
just avoiding going into it.
I was man, we've done this before. At this point, literally, it is 4 or 5 times now that he's asked me these questions, and it's
you also have to remember though, in a debate, you're not just debating each other. You're appealing to the jury.
Yeah, he definitely took advantage of that, and I completely expected that he would fall into the homophobia shit immediately.
Yeah. He did. It took him a while, but he did eventually.
I want to hear what Shannon has to say.
Yeah, I would like to hear what Shannon has to say.
I want to hear what Shannon has to say.
And I have some criticisms of myself.
All right, so we're almost done with the criticism part. And we're going to be able to come together, have a good time, which is what you should do if you're allies and friends. You have that period where you take the criticism, especially in a debate that was important. Matt Powell is a hate preacher. You don't want to lose to a hate preacher. You don't want to give a hate preacher ground. So it's important to take that criticism in those moments. And I think that's what has reflected well this year on this channel. And just with me, that's how I am. I have made so many mistakes and failures throughout my life that it's nothing new. I face it with my chin up and I plod forward and I try to learn from it and get smarter. It's always been my nature to do so. And it's one of the good elements of my character. There's bad elements, trust me. I have a very addictive nature. That's a bad element. I don't wish that upon anybody. But I've always been able to do that. So we're almost through with this part. But I gotta show you a little bit of Shannon Q, don't I? Oh, and of course I pushed the wrong fucking thing. So let me get back to my timestamp. 28:30. Of course. It's not a raging atheist if I don't do that at least once. At least once.
I have a couple of questions for you, and also a bit of understanding. So I've spoken to Matt a few times. And it's my understanding, based on listening to your initial conversation, that essentially he kind of guided you into thinking that this conversation was going to be about one thing, when in fact it ultimately kind of was a bait and switch and was about another thing under false pretenses.
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
So Yeah, no, I understand that, and I understand how it's frustrating. I completely understand how that's frustrating because you think you're going to go into a conversation and you're going to kind of air out your grievances and you're going to lay them out and it's going to be there for the public record. And then all of a sudden you find out that it's going to be something different and you kind of have to scramble.
Yeah.
I get that. I get that. And I understand that this isn't something that you're generally accustomed to because you don't often walk into these public debates.
No, yeah,
However,
and I often say I don't even really like debating. You know, I don't, as sirs
I don't
can,
either.
you know, sirs can list, you know, what debaters should do and do. I just like having conversations with people and trying to figure them out and why they think the ways they do. You know, so yeah, so I don't like going into like formal debates because I understand that I'm gonna misstep quite a few times. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Debates are like
you
rarely
open?
honest.
Yeah.
Are you open to me having a one-on-one conversation with you for a few minutes, just the two of us, about?
Shannon Q is so great, you know, and this was really like a nightmare scenario for me, meeting Shannon Q for the first time in this situation. And when I went back and I watched the debate and I had the live chat going and I was looking at the chat, her comments really stuck out because, you know, from the very beginning, she came there for Does God Exist debate against a hate preacher she's very familiar with, Matt Powell. She had had one or two conversations with him where he had espoused his hate to her. So, you know, she was very disappointed going through that debate. And she came in and she was Shannon Q. She fleshed out the problems, offered suggestions. She does what she does. She's a great human being. And it was just like such a nightmare scenario for me. But you take those scenarios on the chin. And it won't be the last time she was on my channel. She will come on. She will be a part of the Messenger Reveals narrative because he attacked her on my channel. Yeah, so that'll be the next one. That'll be episode 6, probably tomorrow. So we're gonna get into some fun now though, because it's the theology of the sandwich. Now, if Shannon Q's on, you gotta talk sandwiches.
Apple,
Let's
you
get through
should use
the
Wikibuy.
quick ad.
It's a browser extension that
You got to talk sandwiches, and it's pretty much, you know, it was late for Shannon. This is pretty much going to be what is going to drive her from the room. Because yeah, she gets trolled with this quite a bit. So we're gonna have fun for the last part of this live stream. Hope you guys enjoy it.
Honestly,
I could eat a Taco Bell taco walking.
I think we're missing the important question here. That only
It's not
Shannon
real
Q can
food.
answer. Shannon Q, is taco a sandwich?
No. No.
Okay. Why is
Eat
it
on
so hard to
stream.
understand what a sandwich is? It is 2 or more
Best thing
pieces
about
of
Michigan.
bread that is some sort of material in between them. The material in between it doesn't matter. It can be soup for all it matters. As long as there's 2 pieces of bread, it's a sandwich.
I have been enjoying Mr.
is it-
trolling of Shannon and Kyle.
Is this sub-
All right, guys, I'm actually not gonna. I really don't like smoking weed on screen, so we're gonna take me off of here for a moment. I will still be here. Yeah. Really don't like smoking weed on camera, even though I live in Michigan and it is legal. I don't like doing it.
He
Korean sandwich?
made me prep dinner, and I'll never fucking forgive him for that.
So Jim, is an ice cream sandwich a sandwich?
No, because it's not bread.
No.
Ooh.
Despite it being called a
disagree.
fucking sandwich?
No, because it's not bread.
Yeah, you can call whatever the fuck you want. I can call you a sandwich if I want to.
It's got
But I'm
carbohydrates.
not advertising myself as a sandwich.
And
Like,
then
what do you call an
catch
ice cream
on,
sandwich then?
and
Are you calling it
everyone
something else?
be like, "That's
Look,
a
look,
sandwich."
I just need to
Doesn't
point
mean
out
you're an
really
actual
quick.
fucking sandwich.
I just need to point out real quick that I'm really, really happy that C. McRae is not in this conversation.
Everybody is always.
I love you,
So
Steve.
Shannon, what is your
Every time.
definition of an atheist?
I swear to fuck.
Don't.
I'm leaving.
Don't.
I just want to let you guys know what the
320.
scholastic definition of an atheist is. I'm going to pull up the SCP for y'all right here.
Okay, well that's my cue. to say, hey,
You
O'Shea,
believe
go
that
fuck
sub?
yourself.
Was
And
that
also,
a pun on
everybody have a
yourself?
good night.
I used to know what an atheist was until I watched
Night,
YouTube.
Shannon.
Hey, Ocean, is
Fuck
a
me.
sub a sandwich or a grinder, whatever you call it?
Say what?
Oh my God. Goodbye,
sub?
everybody. I'm looking at leaving.
Good night, Shannon.
Bye,
Good night, Shannon.
Good night, Shannon. Thank
And the theology of the sandwich is born. Now you would think that, you know, getting into a little joking and that it wouldn't last long. But just look at who's in the room here. We got Gray Skeptic. Cyrus is in, but he'll be leaving soon as well. He had to dip out. But we have Ocean. We got Maynard Saves, who can talk some shit with anybody. We got John Peterson, who we all know likes to talk. We got Sokka Count, 30 minutes himself. What's up, Sokka? Sokka did reach out to me. He'll be coming on next year. He's got like 3 weeks before he's going to be out to sea again. So, I mean, just with all these people, this organic moment arrives. And it was brilliant. Like, it was probably the most fun I've ever had in a stream. Now, I'd just been, you know, grilled for an hour and took criticism for an hour. Came from a place where I thought I did okay in the debate that I wanted to have, to realizing that I really fucked shit up. And I really need to consider debating, to this place that was just a really good place to be in. And I just don't think that these moments really happen too often. And it was brilliant.
you. Oh
I
man.
didn't actually chase her off. All right. So Jim, what were you saying?
Oh, is a sub a sandwich or a grinder, whatever you call it?
A sub.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sub. I consider a sub a sandwich, but I also don't hold to the same definition that you do about sandwiches.
Well, do you cut the bread all the way through, or do you
No.
leave it hinged? Okay, then that's a fold over.
Okay, hold on.
But
I
is it a
think
fold over? It's a
hold on.
fold over what?
So
I think
Is it a
here-
fold
here's
over?
the-
Is it a
okay.
wait? Hold on. Is it? It's a fold over what?
Sandwich.
You've never heard fold over sandwich? What is an
No,
open?
no.
Is an open face sandwich a sandwich?
Fold over
There are
sandwich.
things, I'm just saying we call all these things sandwiches,
It can't be a fold
Okay,
over
okay,
sandwich.
no.
and yet for some reason they're not sandwiches. Like an open face sandwich is
hot
a
dog
sandwich.
Is a hot
So-
dog a sandwich?
Right.
Okay.
I think a hot dog is a sandwich. Yes.
Here's
Hold
the
on,
thing.
hold on.
Okay, hold on,
Before-
Chris,
Before we
hold
move
on. Okay,
before we move on,
this can be solved. Okay.
All right, so the argument has begun. What is a sandwich? Sokka, he's gonna establish the history of the sandwich. So we're gonna go to 5:15. History of the sandwich.
I think that the proto sandwich would be probably, and in theory, 2 pieces of bread with something in the middle.
Oh, 2 pieces of bread with something in the middle.
Yes.
That's the way
Anything
that
that- but the descendants, the ideological descendants of the sandwich
are
would
much.
be sandwiches
They are
because
corruption.
the
I'm a
sandwich
purist.
the sandwich itself is a social
I have
construct.
started.
what about when
You
that
are
sandwich
applying an
evolves
arbitrary
from
rule to what a sandwich
tortilla
is.
into a
I'm a
lettuce
sandwich
wrap?
nationalist. Sue me.
So
Is a
here's the
lettuce
thing.
wrap
So here's the thing.
sandwich?
Like, the concept of putting some type of filling between some type of like baked product like a bread or something like that is not a new concept.
First only man. First bachelor.
Okay. Like we do have like pierogies, for example, but pierogies have their own phylogeny. They have their own descendants, like that. They didn't descend or branch off from the sandwich family, so a pierogi would never be
Right.
considered a sandwich,
Like
even though,
donuts.
or like a calzone would never be a sandwich,
Right, or a
even
pizza.
though.
What about
Yeah.
a chicken wrap? One with lettuce and one with a tortilla. What's the difference? Same
So-
ingredients
so
inside.
a
Well, okay,
sandwich.
and I'll
So,
point out as
a
well.
wrap,
Beyond
would be a sandwich, but a burrito is not.
Why is a burrito not a sandwich? And why is wait?
Well, because I don't think that it followed from the sandwich. It wasn't influenced directly by prior sandwiches.
But
I
down
think it
the
came about
road?
on its own.
But the
It
whole
was
idea
influenced
of
by the
wrapping
taco,
it,
which
right?
is influenced by the sandwich.
Oh,
Well, burritos predate sandwiches, though.
What?
Burritos predate sandwiches.
No, I don't think it does.
Yes, they
sandwiches-
do. The sandwich wasn't invented until the beginning of the
All right.
1900s.
No, you
The history of the sandwich is established, and conversation ensues. And we're going to get into the dumpster fire. This might be one of the great dumpster fires on my channel ever. Oh, it's so great. It was so much fun. Miss these times. We're going to go to 1502. So let's get there. Way up there. And we're going to establish the evolution of the sandwich.
Cool. You know.
I have to put in.
Yeah, they're sterile. That's what I'm saying. It's like it's like one of those like hybrid species.
Like
it's
a
just
source.
they're a natural mistake. They're at some point, but they're kind of useful. Some of them can reproduce, but it shouldn't exist, and that's what a pizza hot pocket is.
It's a good point, because hot pockets are evidence that not every food mutation is beneficial.
Correct.
God damn it, man!
And pizza is evidence of that as well, because it has evolved pineapple now.
Oh, now we're
not every evolution. Like some mutations are mistakes, but they manage to survive. Like this.
Like Christianity.
So we've established the evolution, and we're gonna have to now establish the theology, and we're gonna get there. Let me turn my camera back on. There we are. So now we're gonna go to 2112, to where the theology of the sandwich really starts to take shape. And it just gets more and more fucking hilarious, including Ocean Keltoy changing his profile picture to that of an Oreo sandwich ice cream deal. You gotta have receipts.
Of course you are.
Point.
Oh shit, man!
Hey, wait.
I can see the title of this live stream: sandwiches and dick pics.
If they are
So shortly before Shannon Q had left the stream, she got a dick pic live on stream. That was a moment that I thought about sharing. I was like, no, we won't share the dick pic moment, but that's what I'm referencing to.
poly sandwiches, does that mean that they have more than one piece of bread? And if they have more than one piece of bread, are they called heroes?
Well, most of them have two.
No, triple deckers.
Like a Big Mac.
Oh, come on, you missed that. Come on, that.
I got it.
Guys, with all this bickering, though, I think that we should just stop for a second and read 1 Corinthians 11:34. If you're so hungry that you can't wait to be served, go home and get a sandwich. But by no means risk turning this meal into eating and drinking binge or a family squabble.
And the following verse, it says, if there's a woman there, have her make it.
By the way, that's an actual Bible verse. I just want to point that out. That's fucking hilarious.
Didn't Jesus turn like two
You said 1 Corinthians
sandwiches
what?
into 5,000 fish sandwiches?
1 Corinthians 11:34.
I was already on 11. So.
Use that in your debate, Ocean.
If there's
You're
a woman
hungry.
there, there's a woman there, she should make it. Jim, I'm appalled at you. Don't trigger Julie and Martha.
Oh, please. I don't cook anyhow.
Why?
Well, Julie's not technically a woman.
I know. I was busting Maynard's balls.
Well, if either of them were,
I mean, if you want to talk scripturally, you can talk like Corinthians 14, 34, and 35.
And for anybody in the audience that doesn't know, we are referencing a known apologist with the sandwich comments towards women.
So, Apology Supreme had made a comment towards Megan of Digital Hammurabi that she needs to go make a sandwich. It became a pretty big deal. Shannon Q got involved with that. So that's what we were referring to there. 2733 is next. And the theology is just going to continue. The dumpster fire is raging. Best dumpster fire ever.
Wow.
The Fable's getting mad at me.
I feel better.
If I wear bread, am I a sandwich? I think so. It depends on whether or not someone is eating you, though.
Hey, wait a minute. Are those guys that walk around like advertising for like restaurants and they're wearing like a sandwich costume? Are they a sandwich?
It's called a sandwich board, right?
No, well, I'm not talking about sandwich boards. I'm talking about the people that actually get dressed up in a costume of food, like they're dressed like a hot dog or a sandwich.
I think
are they a sandwich?
They clearly want it.
I think it depends on how they identify.
I think they're pro sandwich.
I think that they are.
Our Oreo's a sandwich. Well, ask the Oreo.
I think they are red, knowing.
Wait a minute. So if they're asking for it, I have every right to smear my mayonnaise on them. That is what you're saying.
Absolutely, mayonnaise,
All
mustard,
right.
whatever, because
All
they're
right.
putting it out there. If
Condiments are important.
I mean,
Yeah, you want to be safe sandwich, so use condiments for sure.
yeah,
I was coming close to making that joke, like it was forming in my head. But you got it out there first, and I congratulate you.
oh
It
man.
was on the way there. I just
Yeah, then you take her home from the bar and you find out she's pumpernickel, you know?
Ooh. I'd really like to pump her nickel.
Oh man.
Oh man, this is great.
Did you just rate it a 5 or?
What is going on in this chat?
I rated her snatch a 5.
I was getting tired like an hour ago, and I'm just laughing.
Pump her nickel. Jeez, Jim, where did you rated her a 5? That's great.
Somebody in the chat said, if Oreos are a sandwich, ice cream sandwiches must be a sandwich.
Oreos are not a sandwich.
I have long held the position that the ice cream sandwich is a sandwich now.
Okay.
Sandwich.
Okay.
Oreos are sold on the what aisle? The cookie aisle. They're not sold
Yeah,
on the
but on the
sandwich
package
aisle.
it says cookie.
I
It
know,
says sandwich.
but hold on, Jim. The problem with that argument though is where's the sandwich aisle?
There is no sandwich aisle.
Exactly.
The dumpster fire's raging. You only got these dumpster fires on a Raging Atheist, and it's been too long. We're gonna do this shit again. You can't create these moments. You just gotta let them happen. But the dumpster fire's going. We're gonna skip forward to 3033 because my daughter really wants me to put together her vanity desk that she got for Christmas. So I've made her wait long enough. I think I've tortured the poor girl long enough. And we still got some funny clips to watch. This was so much fun. I cannot tell you how much fun this was, and it really reinvigorated me and made me feel better because I realized I lost the debate. It made it okay for me to continue, I think, and I don't think I'll ever quit doing what I do. This is fun for me, but it allowed me to stay a Raging Atheist.
Is the sandwich designed, or did the bread and the meat and the cheese way back when, did it just kind of like come together and like
in a
form
bio
that?
sandwich?
No, they don't.
Oh no, see, the problem is that hold on. We're talking about sandwich evolution here, but you keep on changing the topic to sandwich, like a sandwich genesis, which is
but it could be.
Not only that,
It could be designed though. It could be designed.
but he is talking about intelligent filling.
No,
Yes.
I think that whether or not, like, the whole thing about a sandwich genesis is, I do agree that a design requires a designer here, and that's absolutely the case. So the sandwich is definitely created, but whether or not that creation actually is from the human, or is it from a divine sandwich form, that's another question entirely. However, what I do want to point out,
sandwich creator.
The design sandwich has a form, but you can't see it.
Did a sandwich?
the form
design the
exists
sandwich
platonically, and that's something that's very important to note.
Right,
That
well,
any creation of a sandwich is the imitation of that form.
The original sandwich creator actually expressed itself in 3 different ways as
There's no original sandwich creator.
All I hear is infinite sandwich regression here.
The sandwich form is eternal. There's
What's
no
the
beginning, no end.
what's the cosmological argument for the sandwich creator?
I'm not necessarily arguing for the creator in this instance. I'm saying that the sandwich form is something that was always pre-existent. It is never something that was created or
An infinite sandwich.
Jim hit on a legitimate point there.
Regression.
No, it's not. It's not, because what Ocean's talking about is what's known as the unbaked baker.
Oh God! I mean, Jim Majors had some good ones throughout the whole thing. Him and Ocean and Sokka had some really good moments. You're gonna see Sokka's funny moment that'll be the last one. But that's not yet because we're going to 43:30. The dumpster fire is raging. Now we are establishing the theology of the sandwich at this point. We've given it a God. We're discussing the religion. And the dumpster fire just continues, and a lot of conversation ensues. Yeah, that'll be close enough. Let's continue.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's called a pot pie.
No, it's a pie.
You're just look. I'm getting tired of this intolerance.
Ocean.
I'm seeing so much bigotry in this chat about what is and is not a sandwich. You guys need to stop gatekeeping over the concept of a sandwich. It is absolutely ridiculous what this crap is going on here. Like
I have had a
you hold to some like I'm just gonna let's put out there for a second. I just want all of you to know sandwichness is a social construct, and none of it like there's no actual fucking sandwich.
Okay, all right. If a pot pie, all right, wait. If a pot pie is a sandwich, then a goddamn apple pie is a sandwich then too.
Yes, an apple pie is a sandwich.
It counts from the early bakery fathers.
So now all pies are sandwiches.
No,
pies are,
I already said that.
But
Because
hold on.
And
But
if
here's the
you're
thing.
refusing this, you're just being an intolerant shit.
But Ocean, here's the thing. Here's the thing is that like a solid like sandwich with like bread, you know, the like a meat or cheese in the middle with another layer of bread is a solid foundation in which to build everything else on. But if you're building your foundation on bread and a liquid and then another piece of bread, it's just going to be moist. It's not a solid. It's like building your house on sand.
I don't need this foundation that you're talking about, all right? You don't ground our sandwichness in this colonialist view of bread and some meat in the middle in order to what is termed as a sandwich, okay? Like a sandwich is whatever is identified as a sandwich. We have the ability to choose what we identify as a sandwich. There's no objective sandwichness.
I deny soup sandwiches.
Yeah, me. Well, I have to.
You deny soup sandwiches, and guess what? No, hold on. You deny soup sandwiches, and what does that mean, right? You're denying it. That's it. That's just your opinion.
I think I got people back. I got.
And I think you can really learn from that if you ever get into a debate with sandwiches with Ocean Keltoy, you better know your sandwich lore and you better know your sandwich theology, because he is going to tear you apart, as he did through this whole fucking thing. The dumpster fire really was just starting to really boil up, though, and this was such an important moment for the channel. Because it was right after that Matt Powell stream. It was right after probably the greatest failure I've had on YouTube. And this was organic. And I know GPH, it is silly, but at the same time it isn't. Because it's just fun. It's just friends being friends. Having fun with serious issues. And I thought it went down well. And this has continued on Twitter, as everybody has seen, and I'm still hoping for that debate between Cirrus and Ocean on sandwiches. I'm hoping that happens. I'm hoping. But we got 2 more clips, and then we're going to call it a day. I do have another stream tonight, and I got this desk to build for my daughter. She's getting really impatient with me, and very understandably so. Didn't quite realize we'd be pushing 2 hours on the stream, so 51:20. We're almost done, guys.
Holes.
I'm highly offended at the abuse and bigotry put forward towards certain sandwiches and not others. You got.
No, I agree with you.
Take that up with God.
This is an outrage.
Take it up with the baker. You don't like the bread? Take it up with the baker.
Why do you guys have to be sandwiches?
How about a breakfast sandwich, but you use flapjacks instead of bread? Is that a sandwich?
No.
That's a sandwich.
No, it's not, because it's not bread.
A biscuit sandwich.
It's still a sandwich.
It didn't evolve from a sandwich. It evolved alongside of it.
No, it didn't. No, pancakes evolved, and then somebody was like, "Oh, I'm really stoned. I want to put this in between it."
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay, well, just because people believe it doesn't mean it's true.
What about rolling
but you if you're gonna have great moments on your channel, they've got to have just, I don't know, a certain thing about them. They've got to be organic, and they've got to just prop up, and you've got to have the right people in the right moment. And Sock Account was that person in the right moment.
You know, it's there is some negative baggage to some sandwiches.
No, of course.
Sauerkraut.
Sauerkraut rules.
I get the delusion, guys. I too, I was a follower of the Great Baker, but prove to me that it was the Great Baker and not the kneader that created the sandwich.
You see, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that.
The kneader begets a baker, because why would you knead if you're not going to bake?
Wait, am I the only one wearing the official? Am I the only person that's wearing the religious hat?
What the hell?
Shit. I thought that we were dressing up for this. Sorry. the ceremony.
Oh shit! Sock Account, as always, brilliantly winning the debate. Sky Owl should talk to Sokka, because Sokka doesn't lose debates. Sky Owl pretends that he doesn't lose debates, but Sokka doesn't lose debates. Lots of fun, guys. And we needed fun, because the next time, tomorrow, hopefully, and it should be tomorrow, but I've got a lot of footage to cover if I'm going to get this thing ready for tomorrow. But tomorrow will be me talking about Messenger reveals and the PTSD cure, all the drama that spread through live stream after live stream, month after month, spread to Cirrus's channel. We're gonna cover that, and that's gonna be hopefully tomorrow. But tonight, me and Allie are gonna have Seeing Red. If you want to come on, talk about Christmas, should be a fun stream, I think. And right now, I'm gonna go and build a desk. Gotta find my tools. She's gonna kill me if I don't. So until tonight, y'all, I will see you soon.